Heroes and Legends, Generations 4, The Holy War, Episode 10. The Manican Forces, led by Barley and his wife Sonia, worked together to take down Alkuvi's number 2, Sarkis. Sarkis was the number 2 head man of the Orisonnians and the closest to Alkuvi. The brilliant minds of Barley and his wife Sonia had a plan. They needed to capture Sarkis and to learn the secrets of the Orisonnians and to get the one up on them, seeing that this war was going to be long and brutal. And it was now 2 years in this long war. They did not want this war to last long, and so capturing the Orisonnians was very important. Sarkis was aware of this and began to use ambush units and traps as he began to flee from the Manican's pursuit. So they began to chase after him. See that the elite officers, Max, and troops of the Orisonnians were slowing him down, and Sarkis was about to get away. Barley had to do something, but still, in this narrow road and unfamiliar territory, he could not do anything. They tried as they might. However, they found a bypass that was able to sneak past the boulders that were blocking the original path. Sarkis observed the path, confident that he had escaped. He stopped running and started to walk calmly, overconfident and arrogant as always. However, his arrogance would be his undoing. Sonia and Barley had arrived in front of Sarkis. Sarkis was shocked and impressed. Barley indeed was a brilliant mind, but he would be no match for him. Then Sarkis began to take out his sword and the fight for real. The Showdown forces soon find him, for Sarkis was no pushover, and to be the number 2 of a supposedly powerful being as Alkuvi, he had to be strong, and so they were in for the fight of their lives. Seeing that they could not hold down Sarkis for long, Sarkis managed to give them the slip, and the pursuit was utter failure. Still, he was able to push Sarkis back further into his lines, preventing any type of attack from him and his forces into Yudian lands. Elsewhere, the Orisonnians were also making moves. New forces of Orisonnians seemed to be popping out every day, and a new threat had emerged. The Almalo family, different from the Infoco group, had arrived to the war at last. The leader was Sharon Amalo. He was the big boss. He fought with a sword that grew with dark energy. And in his employ, he had Siva, a powerful woman with a power of super speed, and a giant of a man called Posto, and also known as the Deliverer of Death, as death followed him wherever he goes. A large Risi and Zephyr army was marching, and the Amalo clan was tasked to stop them. The Risi and the Zephyr forces had grown strong since the marriage of Shane and Lord, which produced this mighty man, Stanley. However, none of these leaders were within this army. So, Sharon was a little disappointed, but the troop numbers and all those that they could kill made up for the lack of leaders that were a part of this army. Amal used his powerful sword to beat back troops. Siva speed through the enemy, dodging their attacks and firepower. And because they were aiming at her, As she moves so fast, they end up shooting each other and destroying their own tanks. And then Posto just simply walked past the enemy and they dropped dead. Death was following him, and all that come in contact with him that were non-Irishan died. That is why the Amaro group, the Amaro family, were kept back for so long. This was a turning point as the Orisonnians had powerful warriors with unique and powerful abilities on their side. Orisian might have been small, but their forces and their leaders made their numbers irrelevant. The war was moving to a new phase. As this shocking development happened and occurred, other powerful beings were returning to the age of battle. The Jedi forces were on the move. This time, they wanted to go and invade the forces of the Baja. The Baja forces responded. They got their tanks and helicopters, choppers, and other aerial assault units to attack the Jedi from the air. The Jedi were led by the powerful warrior Aldelheid, who was a tough cookie. And despite the weaponry of the Baja being a military state, Aldelheid's strength and the Jedi's superior technology proved troublesome for their forces. Alju and the new officers to the Jedi were on the move. The officers being Naomi. This lady was the daughter of Aldelheid. She had tough shoes to fill as the daughter of one of the most powerful men in the universe, and one of the most powerful warriors in all of the Jedi. Jared, her cousin, also joined the fight, and Jared was secretly tasked by Aldelheid to protect his daughter Naomi. Naomi was a calm and collected woman. She was not bashful or risk taker like her father. She knew her limits and worked carefully on the battlefield to not overdo things. And so they rushed to the battle and was pushing back to Kiban, the forces led by Kiban and Misu, fearing the worst, that their state might fall. They braced to fight to the bitter end. However, a shocking return was about to turn this battlefield on its head. Kiban, the powerful warrior, had returned. Despite his injuries he had suffered during the Age of Chaos, but he challenged basically God himself and lost. He had returned now to the battlefield, easily subduing the mechs and advanced weaponry of the Jedi, and he faced Aldelheid, who heard Kiban's strength. Aldelheid was confident that he could slay him, and with that the Baja will fall to the wilderness. However, Kiban shocked the world, and he grabbed Aldelheid, slammed him down, and stomped on his neck. Chain snapped on the back of his neck, snapping it in half and killing the legendary warrior with such ease. Naomi screamed in horror as witnessing the death of her father, and Jared said it's time to retreat. Alju followed suit, and the Jedi fled that place. Baja was saved. The troops rejoiced, for their former leader had returned. Kibana wept as she fell on her knees, thanking the heavens for her father's return. Kiban was not impressed by this. He did not think anything of Aldelheid, for he was aiming higher. He wished to look for his rival Damien, who might soon recover himself from the previous war. He wanted one last duel with Damien to prove which of them, once and for all, truly best the other.